Hey guys, welcome back. Darrell Wallace Jr. Glad to be talking with you guys again this week. Today we're going to be talking about track stuff. Let me say that I'm in my hauler right now, my trailer that takes the race cars to the track. So this is what it looks like behind me. If you can see it, the cars actually go up top. There's two levels here. This is where all the tools and the equipment are, but the cars go up top. You can fit two cars up top. So that's where I'm sitting at this week. But my favorite track would have to be Dover International Speedway. That's where we were at this weekend, and I really love going to that place. I've only been there, this is my fourth time there now, but it's just a really fast track. It's the fastest track I've ever been on. I know I've been, let's see, I think 160. That's the fastest I've gone there. So that's pretty quick for me, and I've been pretty successful there. We've been able to, in the past 3 times I've been there, I've been able to start first for each and every race I've been in those 3 times, all 3 times. So it's cool to have that kind of title with you. So it's a place. It's called the Monster Mile. It's a mile long, and it's a concrete track, and the mascot and the icon for the track is actually a monster. So I've actually won there. I won there last year in the K&N East car. So it's a good track for me, and I just love going there. It's fast and it's fun. The different types of racetracks that we race on is, like, say you go to Dover one week, and then we'll go to Bowman Gray Stadium here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and it is the smallest track. You go from a mile long track to a half a mile, if that's like a quarter of a mile, and it's really small and really tight corners. You're racing around a football field, like a high school football field. So if you have a football field out by your school, then that's what we're racing around. Just imagine us going 100 miles per hour around that, or 80 miles per hour around that, and close racing. We're beating and banging against each other. So we go to those types of tracks, and we'll go to kind of a mile long track like we were at last week at New Hampshire. It's a big track, but it's really flat. So it's tough to get around because you can't go in there and run it as hard as you want because you have no banking to slow you down. So we have to kind of get the car right, set up for that. And then we, like I said, go to Dover where it's really high banked and high speed. So you're out of the throttle for a second. So you go down in the corner, and you don't lift until you get to the corner, and then you're right back into it before you know it. We'll go to the difference between a road course and an oval. Is that a road course is making left and right turns. So there's only, I think, 2 road courses that they go to in the Sprint Cup Series, which is Watkins Glen and Sonoma, which is out in California. Watkins Glen is in New York, and Sonoma is out in California. So the speeds are definitely different between the 2 types of racetracks because on an oval, it's all about momentum. So you got to keep your car, you got to find the right line, have it set up the right way to go the fastest and beat everybody. As to where as road courses, it's all about having the right setup, but how hard you can drive into one corner and try to outbrake the other drivers, which means if you can drive it in deeper but use less brake, then that's when you usually find out who the fastest person is. So that's kind of different there. And the turns are totally different from an oval to a road course. You got 90-degree turns, and you got pretty much 180-degree, or you pretty much make a U-turn to come back at road courses. As where oval, you're in long sweeping corners or really tight corners, but they're the same. They're symmetrical on both sides. As to road courses, it's different every turn you get into. So you'll have a long straightaway, and then a really tight corner, then a really short straightaway, and then another left-hand turn, and then to a right-hand turn. So it's really, really difficult, but that's just part of it, and it's really fun. I love going to road courses. But pit stops are definitely different because at Watkins Glen, that's the only track where we pit stop backwards. This is where usually when we pull in, the pit crew starts over here, and so we pull in, but at Watkins Glen, it's the other way around. The pit crew's over here, and we pull in this way, so it's kind of backwards, and it's kind of different for the drivers and also the pit crews. So that's just the different atmosphere from switching over to road course and going back to oval. My most memorable moment on a race was probably last year at Dover when we started on the pole. Well, we won both practices. We started on the pole, and which was started first, and then we led first 20 or 30 laps in the race, and then we had a pit stop, and we kind of fell back a little bit, and then me and my teammate Sergio Pena, he blew a motor, and we actually hit, and we had to come in and fix the fender because it got damaged, and so we had to come from the back with like 50 to go, and we got up to third on a restart, and the leader kind of pulled away, but with 3 to go I was running second and probably this far away from him, and he ended up blowing a right front tire, which caused him to go into the wall, and that made me, take the lead and end up winning the race. Me the most, and why? Let's see. It'd probably have to be the ones that we go to, like let's say Greenville Pickens, which is in South Carolina, or Bowman Gray, or Langley Speedway in Virginia. Those are the tracks that it's so hard to go fast because there's no grip on the track, so you're slipping and sliding all over the place, and it's just really hard on the equipment. And you can go the lap times, say exaggerating, say we run a 21.50, 10 laps later we'll be running 23.90s, 24 flats. So that's the difference, that in 10 laps those tracks your tires are worn out, you're slipping and sliding all over the place, trying to battle for each and every spot. It's just really hard. So those are the tracks that really make it hard on the drivers and also the teams to get the right setup in it to make sure that you don't fall off as much during the race. So that's what we use. And the track that I'm racing on next is, let's see, Greenville. Actually, we go to Greenville in South Carolina. We've been there once earlier this year, and actually I was able to win there. So I got my high hopes going into that race. It's not till I think October 28th. Don't quote me on that, but right around that day, right around that time. So I think it's going to be a good race. We know how to get around there pretty good. That's where I actually won my first race in the K&N East car. So we got a lot of experience there. So I'm looking forward to going there, and it's going to be a great race. And I see that your teacher has some questions about Homestead Miami Speedway. I don't know much about it besides racing it on a video game, but I've been there and watched some races, and I see that it's an awesome track to race on, and a lot of the drivers like going there. It's cool that it's the final race for the Chase for the Sprint Cup. So you got 36 races in a season for the Sprint Cup, guys, and you got 26 kind of like the regular season, like for the NFL and stuff, like regular season races, and then you got 10. The final 10 is for the top 12 drivers in the points to go battle it out for the title. And Homestead Miami Speedway is the last one on the list. So that's where the points shake out, and that's where they crown the champion. So that's an honor I think it's an honor for Homestead Miami to be the last one. That's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to racing there one day. So maybe next year in the Nationwide car, but we'll just have to see. But I just want to say thank you guys for listening in, and be ready to talk to you next week. Thanks.